Hello, everyone. Welcome to the bi-weekly player VOD review stream. Today, we're going to be looking at Berserker from Cloud9. A lot of people were interested in seeing kind of a deeper dive on this player. A lot of other people are interested in as well, but I decided Berserker was the good one to feature this time. So I've got my Cloud9 jersey, and it's not just any Cloud9 jersey. It's a 2022 Cloud9 jersey with... I can't see whether that shot worked, but I hope it did, with Blabber on the back. I've got a Blabber C9 jersey, and I've got a Vulcan C9 jersey, so, I've liked those players for a long time. So yeah, we're going to talk about Berserker. I'm all set up. I've got the remnants of an apple pie, homemade. I've got some coffee. And we're going to do this. We're going to take some time. We're going to grab a bunch of VODs. I haven't pre-selected games, so maybe you guys can help me if you know anything about some of them. We may end up watching some games of his that I've watched before. I don't remember specifically which ones I was reviewing before when I just, on my own back in, December, was watching some of his stuff. But I have watched some of Berserker before. You've probably seen some of my other content, kind of the summary takes that I gave on him, and we're going to see how much, especially if I end up getting a different set of games, which I'm sure I will, how much it validates the things I thought before, whether I kind of discover something a little bit different. My take on him going in, so my kind of preconceived ideas are that I saw him as really good at positioning around his ranges and team fights. I saw him as very not like an ultra conservative player, but someone who really manages his vulnerability really well. So he's not this guy who's going to dive into the middle of a fight and blow everybody up and be really aggressive. He's much more on the kind of the stable, protect himself and then make sure he's getting his damage out. That kind of a player, and in a very good way. Sometimes you can take that as just a KDA player. He's the good style of KDA player to me. But we'll see whether that gets validated here, or whether we see something a little bit different. So why don't we jump in and start picking the first game to watch. So I've got his player profile open on oracleselixir.com, and it's just got his most recent games from the SK Challengers League, which is of course where he was playing before Cloud9 picked him up. Some more general context on him. And maybe we'll start with something more recent. We'll move a little bit further back. I try to get a mix of really strong performances and then maybe some losses and weak games to try to get a balanced view of the player, right? We don't want to just find the games where he had the most kills and get a biased take of he always performs that way every game. But yeah, so Berserker, he was playing in the LCK Challengers League with the T1 org. He almost surely would have been promoted in the LCK this year if he hadn't come to NA, based on kind of what I've heard of people who follow that scene and the amount of discussion and awareness of who he was going in. So, if we want to, we could start with an 11-0 and 3 Varus game. Varus Alistair against Jin Leona seems like as good a place to start as any. Okay, apparently he was in the T1 system for 3 years. Yeah, I don't really tend to look at solo queue. I don't find I have the most context to response from Ujo FM in Twitch chat here. I don't have the most context to interpret solo queue performance. If I'm going to watch it, unless I know kind of the level of the players they're playing against, that helps a lot. They play in such a different style. You go from solo queue to scrims to actual pro matches, and all of that has to be interpreted a little bit different. So I tend to just focus on actual organized pro matches, or in this case semi-pro matches. But let's go in with this Varus game. I think that'll be a good place to start. And it looks like I have watched this one before, but that's okay. And we'll definitely watch a mix of wins and losses. So if we get a quick look at the draft here. And also, I'm just going to check. Was this was part of a series or no? That's right. They didn't make playoffs in summer, so this is just regular season against Sandbox. So his pick came in last pick of, or second phase of first, whatever you want to call it, pick 3. So I went Syndra into Trundle Gnar, so went for like a really controlling kind of a top side. Viego, so Leona, they blind picked their support, and they blind picked their bot laner. Interesting. And they last picked the Alistar. So my expectations for this lane. Varus, Alistar. I think Leona Jhin would probably have a little more all-in potential. And I'm instinctively, and I, I don't... If you haven't watched my VOD reviews before, I certainly approach it from a different angle than some people might, because I'm not a high-level player myself, and a lot of things about matchups, like... and really detailed like trading patterns and stuff like that, I just don't have a good grasp on. So I watch for more around decision making, more around like expected outcomes and what they do relative to those. And so one of the things I always look for is, what would I expect his role to be in this game? What would I expect his lane to be able to do? And so when I'm looking at the Jhin Varus like ranges, for example, who has the range advantage in this lane, I'm not entirely sure. Like certain ways Jhin has really long ranges, but in just straight up autoing, I think they're both pretty similar range. So I think this lane seems fairly evenly matched to me. But with a Lilia top, this team, I think both teams are going to want to play a little bit more towards like mid into top is my guess. And both junglers are pathing bot to top, so that does kind of align with that. We're going to have a little bit of sound in the background. Maybe. Can be kind of nice. Ooh, that might be a little loud. I don't know. You guys tell me. When I fast forwarded, the sound sounds bad, so maybe I'll just leave that off. It's also all Korean casting, so. So like one thing when I'm judging the way this lane is playing out, obviously, so blue side is pushing in first, which means the wave is probably going to bounce back. Like Berserker and Asper are going to bounce by like level 3 towards enemy tower. And so you can see their jungler is doubling back because, but they're not bouncing it. They're kind of letting it. See, they're making this lane gankable. Yeah, okay. This is where, like, one thing I'm not certain of, and Magical Kaz, thank you very much for the sub. A 15-month streak, that's impressive. One thing I'm not certain of is how much Berserker and Asper intentionally pulled that wave in and then held it to keep the bounce back kind of slow and make that gankable. I don't know how much that's just like a natural thing that's going to happen with these champions, or how much that was them like... Also, I don't have ProView on this, so I couldn't really judge it either way. Maybe with ProView I could get a better idea on it, but whether that was something that's just naturally going to happen in this matchup, or whether it was Ice and Proof who should have prevented it from happening, or whether it's Berserker and Asper who kind of forced it to happen, I don't know. The outcome was good, and clearly that was something they were kind of planning, because, or I assume that it was something they were planning, because I think, the Gnar Trundle, kind of, you expected them to be pathing and playing for that, and yet the Trundle did a very creative path, and Mowgli is a good jungler, so he's been around, he's relatively veteran for this level of play, so I'm sure that this was something that they kind of said, hey, there's a pretty good chance we're going to be able to do this. I don't know anything about GOV, sorry. So now, it's interesting they're invading while kind of freezing, but I don't know if it's technically a freeze, but holding bot lane in, and you can see that it got the jungler punished. Couldn't see the full setup of it because most of it was covered by replay. If they were a little more conservative on that, they're probably taking Dragon right now, if they want it to be. With Trundle early, with that much of a bot lane prio window, they could have had a very early Dragon there, but I'm not assessing macro here, but something I'm always curious about. So like right here, they're all deploying together, which is good. You're going to hold the bottom wave in. Let's get them into lane, jump forward a little bit. So he's just catching this because there was a big crash after, you know, the wave state after that first blood. And they're probably thinking that the Jhin is resetting here, and that's why they think they can invade Raptors. But what would he be resetting for? Like, Jhin has a big timer from this wave crashing, and they don't see Jhin. So either they've just forgotten about him, or they think he's resetting, but he's at full health and he just bought from dying. So they do have a little mid-prio, but they just don't think about the fact that... And he doesn't use the mid-prio either. The Syndra moves and the Echo doesn't. Okay, anyways, none of that has really anything to do with Berserker. He was doing what he needed to do there. Anticipating a little bit again. So Varus, in these team fights, you've got kind of Leona Viego frontline. Like, that's not a real frontline. It kind of is situationally with Leona W, but there's a ton of peel for the Varus, obviously with his own ult, with the Trundle, with the Gnar, Echo can zone. Like, the Varus is going to have a very comfortable time, assuming that he doesn't get, like, flashed on or hit by a Syndra stun. So he should be able to lay back in the back line, use his Q, throw out an R if he needs to. And his job is going to be to lock down that kind of bursty, Lilia, Viego, Leona kind of jump in. He wants to lock them down and kill the front line because it's not really a front line. That's my kind of expectation for him in T-fights. He can land poke. If the enemy team gets a setup on objectives, then they can try to get like catches like this. So he's going to Varus Q is going to be one of the tools they're going to have to use to like face check if that comes to those setups come around. For now, he's getting left in lane a lot. Just keeping some pressure on. Now they're going for a Herald rotation. He's moving first because he's got the wave in a good spot. His team basically won that fight, and then he just helped clean it up. Looked like a good Alistar engage, but it was going a little too fast for me. So there's the Echo zoning, kind of putting Sandbox in a bit of a tough formation. The Gnar's coming down with full rage bar. And they jump on, that's the Trundle, right? Yeah. So first kill, but like, yeah, this fight was really, really good for red side, I think. Like, from this situation, you've got a couple people low, but you know that your Varus is almost here, and Jhin is about to step onto a control ward also, so like, you know you've got this fight. The Gnar's about to arrive and wreck you. Boom. Yeah, what was the Syndra flash here? I'm really focused so much on... Did the Syndra flash in to try to finish a kill? Yeah. They flashed in and ulted the Trundle, didn't they? Anyways. It's not what we're here for. So Berserker comes in, cleans up, but, you know, I think the Alistar Gnar was the big kind of hero there. Berserker gets both kills. So he's very happy this game. Let's see that one more time. Yeah, okay, well. Free kills. You're never going to turn that down. They probably replay this again. I'm sure they take the Herald after. And they used it already? No. Wait. Oh, Sandbox got the Herald there. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that part. Regardless. So now they're going strong side into bot because Berserker's so fed. And they might have thought Viego could go top with it there and that they want to trade side turrets, but Viego's going clearing top to bot instead. Might try to break mid instead. Yeah, I think T1 are also thinking they might have used the Herald to try to break mid there, and so Berserker got a window. He leaned up towards mid lane in case he needed help kind of defend that push. But you can see he's constantly up in tempo in this lane, which is largely stemming from that first blood. And now even more so because he's got 2 more kills and he's got a big item lead. Sandbox are trying to go for some kind of fog play, but ooh, he gets on the Jhin there. So Sandbox are trying to go for just like a catch. I assume they know the Varus is on a reset here and that they've got a little bit of map tempo while he comes back out. But they go after the Trundle again. Who, like, in fairness, he's not that tanky at this point, but he does have his ult. He flashes out. Echo makes a good play there. And now Berserker's like, aha! An immobile target. Makes him flash. He's staying out of threat range of the stolen Alistar body and the Syndra. It's just a 1-1. But now Sandbox have to reset. Berserker's going to get another prio window coming out of bottom. Use that for Dragon. Yeah, you see that? That was an even fight in kills, but the map state afterwards was much better for T1. And part of that map state is coming from Berserker managing these bot lane waves and tempo. I'm getting the feeling we're not going to get too much value out of this game. Just because he's so far ahead already. And compositionally, I see it as quite difficult for Sandbox to do anything to him. So, I don't think we're going to end up watching all 11 kills of his this game. At this point, we're just evaluating what he's doing with his lead. The decision to go mid here, I'm not sure if they're trying to match. I'm not going to like back up and try to evaluate this deployment too much because we're not here to judge T1 Challenger macro. But we are getting into the phase of the game where wave clearing mid, keeping that mid outer up is definitely like a useful thing to be putting your Varus on. Wave clears a lot better and more safely than the Echo. He's going to be the main carry, so putting the farm on him too, the reliable farm. All right, let's see. So this is kind of that setup where Sandbox are there first, but their Leona is flanking. And this is where he can use his range. He's got his sums. He's got his ult. And presumably Sandbox are going to try to jump the backline if they can. Because they don't, well, with Viego, maybe they can kind of kill frontline here. Frontline isn't that tanky yet for T1. Too early in the game. Where's the Varus ult? But what was it trying to do? Okay. So it looked like he just Varus ulted into nothing, but the flash was really early. And the flash happened like right as he started to press his R, as Berserker did, so it didn't really do anything. But it... Yeah, did he really have to contribute anything here? So they chunk out the jungler. Alistar, ooh. EQ flash. That was cool. Check this out from the Alistar. I have to watch team fights a lot of times. Flash in, boom. That was the Jhin and the Leona. Fight over. Yeah. Did Berserker get one of those kills? He did. He got a kill and assist there. Going off scorelines, you don't actually know whether somebody had a good game or not, because we know what his scoreline was. And so far, not saying he hasn't played well, like he's played well, but he hasn't had to do a thing, really, except for managing that that level 2, like setting up to receive the gank. Wait, why is the Echo dead? Oh, they picked off the Echo. Yeah, Asper's had a good game, for sure. Yeah, and I would say, like, Roach, Mowgli, like, everybody's done pretty well this game on T1, and Berserker's very rightfully gotten the gold in terms of what they want in order to be able to win the game. I don't know where Sandbox were in the standings for any of this, but Uja says that after the level 2, Berserker is recklessing the game. It's a fun way to put it. I wonder, like how much has sentiment changed around Reckless in the past few months? Does that come across as a negative thing? Because Reckless is such an iconic player who did so many good things for so long and is still, a very well-known player. But I know there are definitely people out there who'd be like, oh, Reckless, like, ultimate KDA player, overrated kind of take, and it would see that as a criticism of Berserker. Like, he's being a Reckless. Why would you say that about him? That's so negative. So I'm curious what percentage of the audience would interpret that in each direction. The gold is still, like, really close. Like, it's now a 1k lead. 5 minutes ago, I think Sandbox were up 1k, but the dragon control and just the compositional interactions and the fact that I know the outcome in advance is just making me like, this game has felt over for a while now. Minute and a half until Soul. If they get Ocean Soul, like, it's not quite as useful as Mountain Soul for preventing the burst, but it still helps with that and just makes this game so much further out of reach again. So 1 minute on Dragon. Let's watch the setup play out here. T1 have a little more tempo. They're arriving in mid together. The Leona's still coming out. Syndra's still joining. They're going to have first push on this wave, I think, with their the Varus range. They don't care about top. Roach needs to get in and build his Narbar a little bit. He doesn't have to flank or anything because T1 have absolutely no obligation to catch the enemy backline. Uh-oh. Cleanses. Let's see if he could have avoided. Oh, yeah, so the Lilia bowling. No, that wasn't a bowling ball. Yeah, it was. Oh, but was he going to dodge it and then Mowgli caught it? No, they were both going to get hit, and he was channeling his Q, so he was slowed. So he cleanses out of that. Alts. They got the Trundle. Huh. I did not expect this. So in this setup, Echo is in bot lane, has TP. I'm trying to think, do I want Echo to join the group, or do I want him to be pressuring, like 4-1 splitting? Because you could, if you're T1, assuming that they feel they have the scaling advantage the same way I do, you could use this dragon as leverage, not as like we must get this dragon and secure soul. And I wonder if they could have had Echo in the top lane somehow and set up for... I'm not going to go back and review the last 3 minutes of macro, but you'd probably want Echo taking top turrets while you controlled the dragon spawn. And then if you had to, you could give up the dragon and probably get 2 turrets for it, and map control and so on, and maybe even a better Baron setup. Having Echo in the bot lane is more like if you were already doing a Baron setup. But right now you're worrying about dragon, not Baron. Like, you'd cycle Echo top, and then after that, or the next cycle, you'd bring in bot and work on the Baron control. So I think this is a bit of a macro failing. and then they get hit by the Lilia engage. But okay, Roach isn't quite ready. He gets zoned out. They've used their Echo TP now. And it's like all the ults from the enemy side, but I don't think Berserker really needed to do anything differently there. Ooh. Goes in. Berserker can continue to hold his flash here. Ooh. So Lilia just tryhards a little too much here. That was just a bit of an int. So now he can clear this farm. And they show his camera after that int too. Poor guy. But they are going to get this dragon. Deny this soul for now. But individually, like, maybe he could have been a touch quicker on his ult and saved some of this. But I don't think that's where they lost the fight. I think they lost. Losing the Trundle was bad. I don't know. I think if you're going to fault Berserker for anything there, it's going to be looking for something to fault him for. So how will they manage their next setup? Are they going to worry about Baron? Are they going to just wait 4 minutes and farm it out? I think they could do a much better job of receiving engages. And I think mid lane, where it's so open, makes it a lot easier to get hit by Lilia and not have like your Alistar or your Trundle like block it in a safer way, because it came in from the side into a super open space. If you're at the pit and you've got vision around it, you should be able to defend that approach a lot better, I think. Also, just as you're generally scaling, you got to get some more tanky items. Okay, they're getting proactive in mid. I wanted them to be reactive here. That's a flash in. Does he just sidestep it? Yep. Look at that. Look at that. The Q is right on top of him. Oh, little sidestep. Beautiful. I didn't specifically remember this until now, but I definitely saw a lot of great Berserker sidestepping. He ulted. What did he ult on do? Onto the Syndra? Okay, the Leona tanks it, but still. Now he can hit frontline. So that wasn't a proactive play by the Alistar. That was a reaction, like a counter engage. Like, I think Berserker has played this beautifully. His team, like, if you get another item on that Trundle and that Alistar, maybe one of them doesn't die or doesn't die quite as quickly, and then maybe you wipe the whole fight. Oh. If he tried to thread that, I'm trying to think whether he might have been able to thread it past the Leona and hit the Viego here, but it was right on target for the Viego. The Leona just, and if he tries to get past the Leona, I think it misses everything. So, but now he's just staying, like, he's staying at his ranges. The Lilia comes in on him at one point here. So, like, arguably he could be a little further forward, I think, and then hitting some of these targets. Like, he could be standing up in this pocket here, but there's a stolen Alistar body here right now. He's very aware of that. Now he's aware of the Lilia coming at him, and you can see he stays out of the sweet spot. He knows that the Jhin, like... So that's a fight, I think, that is a really good example of what I was talking about before, where he's prioritizing his safety over, like, maximum damage output in a way that I think was correct. He was aware of the Alistar, which can be a hard thing, I'm sure, for players to track with the Viego in the game. Like, which bodies is he going to steal, and how does that affect my threat range? And all of those kinds of things, or even just the Viego, like, coming out of the stolen body with the ult reset and closing the gap on him that way. But there are definitely other players who would have stood further forward there and might have been able to like snipe a backline target or something, and relied on their teammates to keep them a little more safe. But you can tell he relies on his positioning to keep safe. Yeah, I know some people are pointing out in the chat here, playing Varus and playing it with the lethality build here, so it is much more about the Q and E poke and those ranges as opposed to an attack speed build where you want to get in an auto attack more. So it's all, yeah, it's all fitting in with like he's what is a little less clear maybe is whether he's building that way because it's how he likes to play, whether he's building that way because of the team comps, which is what I think it is he'd build for the long range because he knows he's got to keep away from the Lilia, the Syndra stuns, the Leona, prevent Viego resets, whatever. So I think he's built this way and positioned this way because of his role in the team comp. But I also think that from what I've seen of him naturally, that's what he probably prefers to do. Good damage out there, but man, how does the Trundle keep dying so fast? I'm not watching Mowgli, but he's definitely getting caught by stuff. 20 seconds on Dragon. Snipe. He's got the Syndra and the Lily up there in brush, and you can't see them, and you can see where he's standing here. And like how hesitant he is to join this chase. So once this controller in the bush is cleared here, and then Echo's out, now there's a Lilia and a Syndra here, both who can have really good ranges, and he's like, I'm not going anywhere near there, even if I could walk straight through here and try to finish these guys off with all the CC that his teammates are going to offer. You can see he stands way down in the bush there, and it's fine because they didn't need him to get that kill. They probably wouldn't have gotten this one anyways. We'll watch next game. We'll watch a completely different champion and like comp and so on. I think we've pretty much seen what we need to see out of this game. Although it's still kind of close. We can see him team fight. One or two more here. Now they've got the solo laner with TP in the bottom lane for the Baron control. Need a little more forward vision, ideally. Remember how I praised Mowgli for that early gank into bot lane? Rough. Stop covering the minimap. Ugh. This is really bothering me. Any kind of overlay that covers the minimap just like makes me feel all inside. I just feel wrong. The world is off kilter. I'm like, I should measure sometime how much of a game like in VOD review I spend looking at the minimap. It's probably like 75%, maybe 80. All right, so they're going to try to salvage this. So they went for a long chase with the Lilia on the Echo. Now what? They think they can... See, like, what do I do with this? Okay, I can see the people on screen. Okay, no, it's... Yeah, so there's somebody missing from the blue side, and I don't know where they are. Who's missing? I think that's the Syndra right there. I can't figure it out. Seize is missing? There he is. Why are they trying to engage 3v4 in what's about to be a 3v5? I don't know. They're going to lose Baron off this, aren't they? No, they're not. Okay. Good job, Asper. I should run a little poll right now. Who has had a bigger game? We've been watching Berserker very closely, but who has been, like, if the game instantly ended right now and T1 won the game, Who would be the MVP for T1? The 7-0-3 Varus or the 0-6-9 Alistar? I don't think you want to push at all in that setup as soon as you got your Trundle caught. That's where you just play to prevent the Baron, and that's it. You got to fix it. So now they're trying again. Need some more wards from their Alistar. Huh. What are they doing here? Did they need to give a Baron control here? Why are they walking out of mid lane that way? What are they doing? It's a minute 10 till Elder. And so you're willingly walking second with an Echo flank. Okay, fine. Boom. Look at that. Now, Berserker's very late to this. But he's following the team rotation. And look, he's standing very safely within that rotation. And the Trundle, of course, with his W, he can run up there really quickly. So it makes sense. Like it's not like Berserker like stutter stepped a bunch and wasted his time getting there. Unless he's hitting the minions right here. He might be. Which I would say would be a very minor mistake. Yep, he's hitting minions right there. I think he threw a skill on. Maybe not. I don't see his mana go down. Oh, it did. Yep. Right there, he's throwing skills on the minions. But who cares? It's... And see, like, it was such a minor delay on hitting those minions that it's, like, right here. Maybe he could be here. But that's close to range? He might have been able to get close enough to throw an ult onto that group. Right? It's pretty minor, though. And you understand the motive for hitting the mid-wave there is, like, you want to get mid-prio. If he's happy. That's the game, I think. So obviously we have perfect information. We know the result of it and all that and can say he should have not taken that 3/4 of a second or whatever to hit the mid-wave, but whatever. It's totally fine. Yeah. So an 11-0-3 game, but like if I'm evaluating that game in terms of, how big of a performance did he have, I'm saying it wasn't a great game. It was a very good game. The sidestep on the Syndra Q in mid, that was really impressive. The fact, like when I'm talking about managing his ranges and being very aware of the threats on him, that was good. Yeah. I don't have anything to criticize, really. So let's watch something completely different. Maybe something with less range. I don't know if we want to go into a loss quite yet. We could watch a 2-0-5, 261 DPM in a win. So if we're going to watch this game, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing 10.1 CS per minute, 261 DPM, 53.8% kill participation in a win. We're going to see, and what's his comp here? So Mundo, Volibear, we're going to probably see an Akali carry. We're going to see him alone in lane a lot. There's another Callisto, and up here, 265 DPM, 10.7 CS per mem, CS PM. Wukong and a Syndra. That's an interesting little 306 DPM on Callista. 432 is kind of normal. Wow. I don't know if I want to watch his Callista games. That sounds really boring. And there's 7, 1, and 11 on Varus. That seems like right in his wheelhouse. We go for 10, 2, and 8 on Jinx. Should we watch that? From spring playoffs? We're going back a ways. Or a Kai'Sa, because that's also like... Jinx is going to be managing ranges again, is really important. Kai'Sa, you want to go in. So... I think... Let's watch a Kai'Sa game. More recent is better. Should we watch a Kai'Sa in a loss? Let's watch a Kai'Sa in a win. Let's not dive into the losses quite yet. Oh, a lot of losses. His team in summer, I think, was really not good. Let's go for this win against HLE in the spring playoffs. And then after that, we can go into a loss. So this will be something completely different. So Jinx first pick on the other side. I don't remember these patches at all, so I really can't say anything on that front. Volibear Kai'Sa as a response. And the Galio's... I didn't check the comps. The Galio's mid. And they blind pick their support. They're saving counter pick for jungle. Unless the Volibear was jungle at this point. Oh yeah, it is. Volibear jungle at that point. So in these comps, you got these big, beefy... Like, everybody is kind of frontline. Aatrox is a bruiser. And then you're going to go into all that chaos and blow up the Jinx and the Zoe. He's got to manage Alistar ranges. He's got to manage Gragas ults. Zoe fishing, of course. So. In the lane, Jinx outranges Kai'Sa. And you can, I think you can isolate Aatrox Gragas quite a bit, so you're probably going to have the Volibear help to maybe do strong side bot side with this, despite, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're really worried about them trying to snowball the Jinx, but I think both junglers, yeah, okay, I hadn't looked at the minimap yet, both junglers passing top to bot, isolating the top lane. I think HLA is the better lane because of support matchup. Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't think T1 want anything really volatile early in this lane. I say right as they go in level 1, trying to fight for control of the wave. What do I know? So fighting for early control of the level 1 wave, to me, says you're trying to get a bounce onto your own side to make it gankable for your Volibear. But we'll see if that's right or not. So they're shoving, shoving, shoving. This is the wave that needs to hit the turret with the cannon minion. They've got good vision, so they can do that. They don't want to take too much damage to crash it, though. Okay. So, yeah, it's bouncing a little. No, it's not. It's not. They're keeping it pushed. I wonder if they could... See, now it's not gankable here. And they don't need it. I don't think they need to get a gank there. They just want to be... Like, being safe is also fine, and getting the crab is kind of good. Crab is more important in this meta than it is today. So now they're just going to use that to fight for the crab. I don't know. I still kind of think that they wanted to get that to bounce and then try to pull the next wave onto their own side. And they didn't get it to turret. But I might be wrong, so don't read too much into that. Zoe got the first reset and is TPing, but Galio just stays. And then the flash Alistar. Boom. Zoe bubble hit Berserker. But he heals back. Yeah, I think this is a... I think Galio's still taking a couple of minions here. I think this is a little bit of a failure of wave state bot. They were either that or their whole plan was to double crab with the Aatrox coming down and working on top crab right now. But with... Yeah, I'm pretty sure just the blue side 4-man group is going to be stronger than the red side 4-man group, and they didn't expect to have to fight for it. The Alistair made a good play. Ooh, he lives. Pretty impressive from a certain perspective to hold your flash and all of that. After getting hit with the bubble, like getting flashed on by the Alistair, getting hit with the bubble, and only having to use your heal, that's pretty good. All things considered. Did something happen that I missed earlier? Why does the Galio have two... No, I wasn't paying attention to this. That's why the Galio has 2 deaths. Yeah. Alistair had... Or the Aatrox had been working on this crab for a bit, but now he's like, okay, disaster, I gotta cover mid. And then they fight for this. Just kind of get owned. Rough. Replay. Don't know what's going on with the bottom wave. Okay, they're just catching it. So they can't really defend Volibear's jungle here. Galio is being pushed in. Kaisa Leona are being pushed in. They just got to focus on getting their farm in the lanes and trying to stabilize. Ooh, nice. How are they going to win this one? Will it be a Berserker mega carry? So he's 1v2 in lane here, with Herald about to spawn. His team gets the pick off mid. Berserker just needs to catch this farm. He needs to communicate whether the Jinx moves for a Herald play, which he should be doing right now. And right about now they should know there. Jinx didn't move. Ooh. They get the flashes. Flash stun. Are they going to dive this? They got to get the wave in, don't they? Huh. They do not. This is spring playoffs. Right at the end of spring playoffs, I think. Or their end. Yeah. Did they? I don't know. Last game that T1 is in spring playoffs, so I guess that means they won spring playoffs? I didn't check. So right here, Zoe is still returning from base, has no TP, and Galio has ult. Plus Zinjao's on the Herald, so this is the Jhin getting caught. I don't think you can really afford to... You have all this vision. Once you see the Leona there, you can't walk up into Leona range. Now, yeah, 4v2 and their health is a bit low. More conservative play would have been to get the wave in, try to zone them under turret, and still get the dive, but they might just escape, and then you just take the plates. When instead you're trading 1-1 in plates. Or 1-1 in kills and not getting any plates. So I think they forced that a bit. And they're losing plates mid. If you just zone there, zone for plates, then you can send your Galio back mid and catch that farm more easily too. Oh, it said finals and champ select? Alright, I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, this is them winning the finals. And then missing playoffs in summer. Shouldn't be anything happening here. It's 2 minutes to drag in. Sorry, I got distracted by something on the other screen for a second. This is his first alt. He's level 6. And the alt's from pretty close in. Did he alt? He procced with his own W, right? Or was that the... Oh, okay, from the Leona alt. Need to flash to make sure they get that kill. Now they're getting double TP'd on, so he's certainly dead. Volibear ult's out. What is this team wanting to happen? Oh, did he dodge the Alistair Q with that ult? I don't think he meant to. Maybe he did, and if he did, that's genius, but I don't think that's what he meant to do, but it did work out that way. He would have had to see that animation in like the first 3 frames. Volibear once out, others not so much. Rip. Misses the Jinx out. So at this point, they're way down in kills. What's the gold at? Yeah, 3K, a dragon, about to be 2 dragons. Fascinating. Is the only, like, Aatrox is damage source, but the only pure damage source in his comp. He's doing okay in farm. He's got a kill and 2 assists. Like, his personal gold is pretty good, but they are down 4,000 gold and 2 dragons. And I don't think you can clearly say that T1 has better scaling here. When you got a Jinx, you've got really good frontlining. The thing is, like, if HLE had this comp against a Jinx, like, say this Jinx on both sides or whatever, or against, like, a Varus or something, hitting into, I guess it's an AP Gragas, but still, hitting into an Alistar and a Xin Zhao with their ults, and the fight's probably over by the time those ults expire. That sounds rough, but of course with Kai'Sa ult, you can avoid those zones of control and get right in on the Jinx and Zoe, which is what definitely his job is going to be. He's going to need his teammates to deliver the Galio and deliver his, you know, his ult procs. So he definitely needs help to be able to do his job this game. Just a greedy invade. Kinda. The Alistar clearing vision there. Walks into the Xin Zhao to do the damage. This is a little bit of a doomed scenario. They try really hard. It seems like they're getting a catch, but again, the Xin Zhao ult makes it really hard. He's got flash as well. The Galio ult doesn't connect. Does get him there. And he just doesn't have the damage at this point. Just setting themselves further behind. But that is an instance of him not being too ultra conservative. Like, he's trying for something. He's not just saying, no, I'm pretty sure I can't get that kill, so why don't I just save the cooldown or whatever. Like, if he was being too conservative and not following the team call for aggression or whatever, he could have backed off here and tried to tell everybody, hey, we got the jungler's flash, and the Alistair as well. Well, he just flashed in, but once the Alistair flashes on him there, maybe he's doomed. He's committed, but okay. 5-1 and 8 Zoe at this point in the game. I just think they didn't need to overinvest on that in general. But yeah, I totally understand why they tried for it. They probably feel like the game is over, and so they're just like, maybe we can get a pick here. If it's a 20% chance of a pick, that's better than our chances of winning this game. Like, that kind of mindset is fine too. So they're giving up this dragon, sending Berserker top to farm instead, and try to take a turret probably. Get some solo farm on your carry. The next dragon is the one that matters. And, oh no, it's an Ocean Soul. I was going to say, I saw a Cloud Drake, but it's not a Cloud Soul, it's an Ocean Soul. Is he going to finish this turret? But they're going to lose mid-inner. You got to trade for something, though. Ooh. Lose the inhib turret also. Are they going to lose the actual? No. I don't think they could have quite taken the inhib. But even if they could have, maybe they've got the mindset. I know a lot of people had the mindset. Don't take an inhib, especially mid-inhib this early. Oh, he got away. Nobody in this game is farming that well. Like, they're farming fine, but not super well. So with this kind of deficit, 7,000 just about, you do have to worry about them going for a 20-minute Baron to some extent. You're just desperately trying to get more farm on your Kai'Sa. See if you can poke them off Baron and buy another minute. See if any of them expose themselves. Yeah, it's an interesting point from comfortably average, but objective bounties, how they change these scenarios. That, you know, if you do get that one big fight as T1, the gold swing is going to be that extra 1,000 or more. It doesn't help you get that fight, but it does help, you know, what the reward for the comeback fight is. And also that turret Berserker took in the top lane might have come with a bounty. Actually, I'm pretty sure it would have come with a bounty there, so that would have helped right up there with that trade. It was still a winning trade to HLE, but all right, 1 minute until this dragon. They've got to win this. You can't go down soul here as well and still win. There's no way. Oh, Leona, little sneak. Galio in the mid lane, ready to ult. Oh, they get beautiful. Look at that Galio ult. Berserker's in on the back line. Ooh, did he flash into the pit there? Yeah. He's in on the Jinx. They killed the Zoe. So his team killed the Zoe, and he goes after the Jinx. Makes the Jinx flash. Now the Volibear stuns, Berserker heals and flashes in, pops him, dies for it, but like that's the kind of play that when I'm looking at a player who I've had the impression so far that he's more on the KDA side of the spectrum, seeing a play like that is like, aha, good. He can do it. You know, he's willing to flash into the middle of the enemy in the pit to kill the team's other carry, even though he's probably going to die for it, because that... Wait a second. They got aced. I still liked it. I thought that fight was over and won for them, and I stopped watching. Like, at this point, I'm like, oh yeah, They got it. They got the two enemy carries. And even at this point, I'm like, oh, but the Volibear died too. I think they won this game. Maybe my data's wrong somehow, and I'm gonna have to go fix a bug. Maybe I clicked on a different one than I thought. Still, I like that because I think the Volibear should have lived. I like the mindset of it, right? That's the takeaway here. Is I like the mindset of I'm going to trade myself out carry to carry if I think it's going to win me the team fight in a crucial moment. Yeah, I've got to be messing with myself. I'm not going to go back and check because I don't want to spoil it now on with the potential that I'm wrong, and that'll just be fun. Did I not click the game I thought I clicked? I take it as a positive, the whole thing. I liked him going in there. On the downside of that, he is like, other than the Aatrox, like he's the carry. And maybe you still want to like keep yourself alive to hit that front line. But the Jinx is probably going to clean up harder than you are, so I don't know. And your team still has the Aatrox and they just have like a Zinjao. And an AP Gragas, I guess. I keep forgetting the Gragas is AP. What are they going to do here? So they did get Ocean Soul on the enemy team. Gonna go for a big Baron Steel. Mowgli going to redeem himself. Zoe misses. Another good Galio delivery. Berserker, where do you go? Where do you go? Get inside the Zinjao ult. And he got shielded and lived. That was his ult shield. No, he didn't live. That was his ult shield. He just ulted inside here to shield and keep himself alive. Could he have gone into backline here? Like, he definitely could have. He could go in right here and try to 1v2 them. And I think that probably would have been a better call. Go in, like, right here. You don't have your sums, but... Nah, they can't win this game. It's over, right? So they're respawning. And they trade the top laner for the support. That's good. They're going to keep one turret up. Ooh, W. Is he going to go? There's no Galio ult, so no. What is going to happen here? Oops. We're off on a magical mystery tour of the rest of this game. I'm pretty sure I clicked the game where he won. And stop trying to like now spoil it in chat because now I'm like intrigued and I want to know for sure. But I'm like 90% confident that I clicked a game where he won. And I seem to remember him having 5 deaths, but like not like a high kill count. Jinx isn't here. Not yet, but will be in a moment. Can you catch the Zoe with this little flank? Alright. The Jinx is... Oh boy, that Jinx. That Jinx is doomed. Oh no. Berserker... So this is how they win. Oh no. Berserker's 1v1ing the Alistar and losing. Oh dear. I was really hoping that the comeback play was going to be because Berserker did something good. And not lose a 1v1 to an Alistar while his team catches the enemy Jinx inting. And that's not even a criticism of Berserker. It's just like, well, that was useless for us understanding how good Berserker is. Now they get a Baron. There's more to come. So maybe we'll still get good Berserker stuff. Oh. He landed W on the Zoe, but he didn't want to go. Yeah, and I think, like, given that it's 2 core carries against 1, trading yourself out for a carry as Kaisa probably isn't the right call in this game. So, like, right here, if he goes there, the Xin Zhao turns on him. He probably doesn't even get the kill and he dies. A more aggro player, or a player in a scrim, would probably go for that. So he's just hitting, but the Xin Zhao ult is zoning him. There he goes. Okay, let's see. Roach, flash knock up. That's what he needed. So now he's going in, getting past all of this front line, and that was what his job was in this game. It's a good stopwatch, but he gets the Zoe. Triple kill. So, yeah, he did well in that fight. I think the Roach flash in was the game-winning, or the fight-winning, at least, play. But Berserker capitalized on it, which is all you can really ask. Now they get Elder. Haven't really seen like signature moments from him yet in these 2 games. But I also don't know if he's the kind of player that generates signature moments. It's more just like he reliably does exactly what you need him to do, which is a very valuable thing for a bot laner. Now they've got Elder, and they're just going to end with Elder. Where is he in this fight? So he's up here. Just hit the Alistair. Roach doing a lot of the work again. How did he... Jinx is down here. Walks up. Oh, he landed a W on the Jinx and blew her up. Cute. So, like, if I'm summarizing up so far and continuing to summarize my overall thoughts on Berserker, he strikes me as the player who's going to give you an A-tier performance every single game. Not the player who's going to be S-tier some games and, C-tier in other games. And if he can give you an A or you could maybe say an A+ every single game, that's incredibly valuable. And that's different from what you'd want out of, say, a mid laner. I'd say, like, for jungle and bot lane, you want, like, ultimate consistency. And he's definitely seeming to be the kind of person, yeah, I was sure I clicked this one. And I did. So we've had a Kaisa, we've had a Varus, both on wins. Should we look at a Kog'Maw? Kokamilla says FBI and he didn't look amazing in lock-in, and TL won a full bot for a while, so there's a spot for the best bot in NAO. Yeah, there definitely is. I think you've got a bunch of duos, bot lane duos in the LCS, that are kind of like there's a stronger component and a weaker component. FBI and he seemed like the de facto best bot laner. Danny and Vulcan, Danny's laning and some of that kind of stuff still needs to come up to par. Luger and Poom, I think, are a candidate, but need to prove it. Berserker and Winsome, I think Winsome is the weaker link in that bot lane, but we need to see Winsome in the LCS to really start judging. I think Hansama Ayla would probably be the second best bot lane right now. Once it's Hansama Core JJ, different story. But I'll maybe VOD review Winsome after he's had some time in the LCS, but I'm not going to do him right now. So looking just through some of his game results, like, this is pretty sad. 0-1-1, 1-1-1 on Ezreal losses. Let's find a Ziggs game. Is that a little too... I don't know how helpful that's going to be. A Jhin game where he was 0-0-1 in a loss. We do a good Ezreal. What do people want to see? Do the Ezreal? Let's do an Ezreal loss and then maybe an Ezreal win. We'll see. Where does this get drafted? These have both been... Okay, it's all red side so far, but like, I don't think it's a big deal. So they're saving bot lane pick for late. Bot lanes on both sides. Let's think for the Ezreal blind here with just a Thresh ban and a Kalista ban. Based on the score lines I'm seeing from his Kalista, that's just a meta ban, not a player ban. But Varus Rakan, and they go for Ezreal Leona. Poke comp with the Ezreal Jace. Rise doesn't really fit that, but like side leaning, I guess. So his job this game, well, he's going to have a Renekton, a Diana, an Aurelia, and a Rakan all jumping on his face. So that's going to be awkward. But of course, if anyone can manage that, it's an Israel. So we've got out of sync jungle pathing, Mowgli's pathing bot to top, Peach pathing top to bot. So the Ezreal is weak side here, which you would expect. Ezreal doesn't do that strong in early laning. You can't really all in that well. I think you can whittle down the enemy 2v2 in this matchup, but you're not going to win the first few levels. And that's the point when it comes to the jungle pathing. And more importantly than that, of course you want to path towards the Jace's side. Oh. So looks like Aurelia dumped a bunch of mana to get Prio here. And the Rise stepped up for... Is that the Rise putting a ward there? Okay, so the Rise leaned before to help get the crab. Now Rise is catching all of this. Aurelia resets. TP's top. Rise matches, but 2 seconds later. Do they get one back here? Close. That's rough, though. Rough for T1 to lose your Jace like this so early. Have to use your TP in an inefficient way. How's that going to influence the rest of the pathing for the rest of early lane phase here? Probably not well. Little hiccup. So he's just getting his farm. He's getting his farm in. Come on, buffer you. There we go. Seems to be CSing pretty well. Taking a little poke. Okay, that'll help. Now they cover the minimap again. Why is this acting up? Let's slow down the playback speed here and see if we can't just get it to stop buffering. Need something to happen though. And this should be fairly non-interactive for a while. So generating a bit of a push, but there's nothing to do it for, and the jungler, I guess it's for blue buff control. Nothing should really come of this. Now, can they avoid this gank? Yeah, they're fine. Ho hum, ho hum. Okay, so there's a Herald situation playing out, but he uses his ult on the wave just to try to push it because he's pushed in so far that he can't trade this Herald for any plates. And he's also Ezreal, who just can't push that fast in general. He's not even trying. He's just going to reset. For his... Wait. This is his first buy? Oh my goodness. His first reset came at 9 minutes and 10 seconds. That's bizarre. Huh. Well, anyways. So now he's back in lane. Support is still coming. He's got full health in both sums, so he doesn't need to worry about being dove that much right now. And his team is still playing for top side. Making some progress. Giving up a dragon. Blah, 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 blah. Blah. Wait. No, it's just a recall. Something needs to happen in this game. Other than DRX slowly winning. But not using it to win more. Okay, they put the Herald mid. Get some plates. That doesn't mean anything. He backs way off the turret here. Oh no, he's defending a jungle invade. So they're going to lose. They're trading turrets here on the side lanes. Let's see if my buffering is fixed yet. I'm just trying to think of like what T1's mindset as a team is right now. I think they should be worried about the Aurelia as the game goes longer. They should be worried about the dragons getting stacked against them right now. They need to use that to buy some time. I think they gotta... I don't think they should be worrying about this Herald so much. I think they gotta... Like, even if you traded the Herald for the dragon here, I don't think that would be great because that puts them on soul point. But also, can they fight for this? I don't think they can fight for it yet either. Especially not, you know, with Berserker having to catch that farm in mid for so long. Okay, they teleport the Rise and deny that wave bot in order to continue contesting this Herald. I think they're going to lose the mid prio here. Peach goes for an engage onto a single person. And nobody really joins. Could anybody have joined? Yes. Certainly could have. But there's so little damage if they... Like, Ezreal doesn't do that much damage yet. Rise, I think, also doesn't do all that much, and he's the one getting attacked at the start. So they're like... Yeah, they killed the Diana only. I just don't think T1 should have been trying at all to fight for that at this point. I guess that's why maybe they needed to try for the... And maybe they were trying for the objective trade because they didn't think they could fight. But yet they TP'd up the Rise. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think their macro or their shot calling are all that successful right now. But there's nothing to take away from that on the Berserker front, really. He had to catch the mid wave. He got in the position he got into. He's Ezreal at that point with those items. They sneak away this dragon, which seems... That's not a big deal for DRX because their concern is setting up Aurelia. And they've got plenty of time to do the dragons. They gave a turret to Aurelia. They got lots of map control on top side, which should help them on, like, now they're going to macro cycle into bot side control, and then they're going to swing it back to top side control for Baron. The one after that, I would think. Wait, but they're... Oh yeah, Renekton spot too. What do we have here? Berserker still coming out from base. Mowgli walks into the river to help out Roach, but good luck with that. Alt's out, but my guy, yeah, gets tagged. I think he'll live. There's just like nothing at all to say about Berserker this game, unfortunately. And it's not really because of anything he's doing or not doing. And this is what we talk about when we say that the quality of the team around a player affects a lot how good the player looks. Sometimes it's because you're not paying that close attention to the player and their team is just winning, and so they have high score lines and they have like winning teamfight moments and you think they're good. Sometimes it's because the player's good, but the team around them is just not doing anything to give them opportunities to show it. And so that can like cause people to not become aware of Berserker. Do something. I didn't pick an 0-1-1 game, did I? Then I picked one where something seemed to happen in his scoreline. There are definitely players, like I'm trying to think of an example of a player like this in the LCS whose losses involve them just not doing anything, and then people assume sometimes that the player is bad when it's not really that the player's bad. Yeah, Johnson might be an example. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of bot laners specifically. I know people have some ideas for mid, but like Reckless, unironically. Turtle, I don't think it really applies to. And like, because bot lane isn't a position where your team is losing or struggling and you can go in and make the big play that swings it, or at least try, right? It's the position where, generally speaking, you need your team to set you up, and then you knock them down. They set them up, you knock them down. So if your team's not doing that, then you just don't really have an opportunity to do anything at all. All right, what's going to happen here? And can I pause for a moment and talk about how funny I find it that, because there was, I don't know if this morning or yesterday or something, a little leak that I haven't seen all the details of, a little leak of some scrim score lines from Cloud9 internal stuff that people are talking about so much as if it means anything. And I find that funny. I just want to say that. He says while wearing a Blabber jersey. So they don't want to steal here because Mowgli's around. They pick off the Jace. Ooh. They just back off the Baron entirely because they're scared of a steal. And that's fine. Well, they did lose the inhib on the split push there, so, which is very odd, actually. How are you losing an inhib on a split push when you've got the Aurelia? I guess like Ryze ulted down there and they 2v1'd it, but like, for that matter, why is your Aurelia here hitting Baron? Am I wrong? Like, is Aurelia not the one who wants to be playing the side lane right now? or at least like maybe 1-3-1ing it. Yeah, Ujo says Berserker is kind of looking like a Korean Reckless, which would explain why Alice likes him so much, because he's a fan of Reckless. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an oversimplification. But from what I know of LS's mindset, and liking, you know, the scaling, conservative, very controlled style of play, it does make a lot of sense that Berserker is his kind of player. So anyways, DRX lost an inhib here with a 3-0 into Aurelia. But they managed to get a couple kills, and now they should get the Baron. Yeah. And Mowgli, suicide steal attempt, but they held the Baron health high. That's good. Oh, show me something that matters. Hey, look at this. Aurelia winning a split pushing fight. It's a 2v2, but still. And you get an inhib during it. Oh, he's getting away. Got him. Now you're getting it. And a Cloud Soul, because why not? Cloud Soul seems pretty decent. Actually, Cloud Soul seems very good for DRX here. Hey, look, a side lane solo kill from the Aurelia. What? Cloud Soul and Rakan seems super good. Cloud Soul and Renekton is pretty good. I think can do pretty well on Diana Aurelia. And of course, just for the split pushing in general, the move speed is good. Boop, boo, boop, boo. Something gonna happen? Is something gonna happen? Look at Berserker. Landing poke on the Renekton. Look at him farming those minions. Oh! He missed the cannon. Get the cannon. He didn't get the cannon. Well, this game, as an opportunity to try to understand Berserker, was a big ol' nothing burger. Oh, it's not over yet. The team just never had a position that they could do anything from. And it started with messing up their Jace work in the very early laning. Oh, kiting. He's back. Land some skill shots. Another E. Like, what do you expect to happen? There's got to be a more useful game to watch. Ezreal in a win? Yeah, I want to see him actually play Ezreal. Let's watch him play this Ezreal in a win. Now, bad sign. 609 DPM. But still. So you went Ezreal Karma on second rotation into having seen a Leona. So they're going to try to win this 2v2. And then the rest of the comps, the way they play out. Oh, Karma mid. And I went with the Braum. Yeah, and probably at this point, again, I can't remember the exact metas going back throughout last year. But Karma mid was probably more common. So Ezra Braum, boy, this comp does not have a lot of damage. Xin Zhao, Karma, Ezreal against a Tristana top. Okay, but they do have Volibear Leona, which is reasonably tanky. They've got Tristana range later, but like, you know, no skill shots on that or anything. If you can get on top of the DK formation, I think you can wreak some havoc. And I think the Ezreal... Okay, LeBlanc flanks are going to be like the biggest threat for the Ezreal. Leona should never catch you. Volibear should never catch you. And with your Q range, you can be totally fine against like Tristana and definitely Aphelios. So this is a very safe game for Ezreal. In fact... Okay, like... So my expectations this game, Ezreal Braum, you're going to probably not have control of the lane early, which is what they haven't had. And if I back it up a little here. Is that an invade start? No. So your jungler starts bot going to top to try to deal with the Tristana, probably. But you're not really going to have control of the lane. And that's fine. Karma should have control of mid, I think. And you're going to use jungle and mid to try to handle the top lane scenario. You're going to scale. And then the Ezreal should be able to play way up with the Karma helping. Like the Karma supporting you, the Braum protecting you. Xin Zhao peel. Gnar Tristana late game side laning, I'm not sure about. But regardless, like dodging LeBlanc chains, even if she is in that mid group, when she'll probably be side laning a little more, like that should be very doable. Dodging Leona in cages or like even Aphelios ults should be really easily. I want to see an Ezreal. I want to see like a real battle Ezreal. I want to see somebody standing up front and making life miserable. Because you should be able, especially knowing that he's a good sidestepper. And you've got cleanse. Excuse me. Now, unfortunately, like one thing we're not really getting a chance to see in any of these games, partly because of drafts, partly because of teammates, is him, you know, Berserker playing to dominate lane, getting any kind of snowball. So I don't know how much, you know, how good he is at that, or how much he's capable of it. You know, we did see the one game with the Trundle gank early. I think it was Trundle, the first game we watched, where they made the lane gankable and they received the gank. But that's not quite the same thing. Like Callista, maybe we could try for that. We can look for a matchup after this one where you'd expect to kind of smash lane and see if he does it. But the thing is, even if he has the matchup for it, it doesn't seem like his team tries for that. It seems like they use him as the scaling teamfight option, and they try to play through Roach, or they try to play through Miryu. I haven't said his name yet, but it doesn't really seem like they try to play through bot directly much. I think people look at Aphelios, like with an Aphelios Thresh lane or something, look at it as a kill lane, not as a smash lane, you know, hit turret kind of game. Or what, so. Nuclei, thank you for the subscription. Good to have you. So they did get a dragon here without mid or bot having a real prio. Just with the junglers being desynced. Yeah, possibly this is part of LS's plan that C9 are going to want to play through Summit in the top lane, let Berserker play his conservative scaling style. I don't know what that was from Roach, but we're not going to worry about it. We're here to VOD review Berserker. Even if some of the games make us want to fall asleep, that's what Fast Forward is for. And why we're all in this together. Plus, yeah, I already did a Kaido VOD review back in December. Or early January. If you look earlier in the YouTube channel, you'll find that stream. A couple hours going over Kaido games. Also Shen Yi. So put a little bit of bounce back and forth. They don't have enough control to deal with the Herald, so letting the Tristana take some plates. Not having, yeah. I expected the Karma to be able to control mid, but maybe I'm just wrong on how that works. I'm not going to dissect this. I just want to see the outcome and how it affects Berserker. And the outcome is that T1 win the skirmish. And given that DK were in so much control of this top lane, that's a really big deal for T1 to claim back some control of that. Now the Karma has almost a 20 CS lead. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not concerned at all about the CS difference in this lane. Berserker's on Ezreal with his team playing mid into top, or really just playing into top without mid control. So, this is an expected outcome. Now they're overloading his side a bit while the Tristana finishes the turret in top lane. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Oh, a Herald too. A bit of a dry throat here. Dry throat and I'm all out of coffee. So the Ezreal has to try to clear this entire cannon wave while his team is working on Herald. It's going to take a while. He doesn't even have his mythic yet. I wonder if he could. How much coffee do I drink per day? Anywhere between 2 to 4 cups, like mugs. Pretty average amount. And I put a little bit of cream in it. Just a little. Okay, so they're turning... Should be hitting turret here. Okay, this siege is a case where they are crashing the Herald. They can see the LeBlanc bot, I believe. They definitely should know she's down there. Yeah, she's hitting minions there. So they know that they're 5v4 here. They know that Leona... Well, they just made Leona flash. So, the only thing you have to worry about here is a flash Volibear play. I mean, unless Tristan is going to try to flank you and ult you in, but good luck with that. So I want to see the Ezreal hitting this turret, fishing with Qs underneath, like really being in their face. You have nothing to worry about here. Get this turret. Hit it. Right here, okay, he's managing range from the Leona. And, I mean, maybe the problem here is that his team should be on it, but, like, it's going to be kind of hard to sidestep the E, I'm sure. Don't worry about that. Hit the turret. See, this, I think he's being way too conservative right here. Doesn't get to proc the W. That turret should be dead already, I think. But now it's taking them an extra wave. When did the LeBlanc TP come in? Maybe that was part of. No, it was onto the turret. So it was going to be 5v5, so I guess he's a little worried about the LeBlanc coming in as well. But even so, when you've also got your Braum, who should be working on you. So it's partly that his team is chasing too hard on the flank to deny, or to chase out the Volibear. But I think Berserker's being too conservative here. Not the biggest deal. He's forward there. So, like, it's so hard to say, but if they had managed to get the turret on the previous wave by taking a little bit more risk on it, then they've got a whole extra wave of tempo on this reset. Or maybe they're just that much closer and he has to have less time finishing this turret and they can get like one more kill. I think we've watched games where he doesn't do a whole lot and it wasn't his fault. Like he didn't really have anything to do, but in this game so far, he should be doing more. And he should be telling his team, like, hey, cover me, I'm doing this. He shouldn't be following his team's lead. And, of course, this is something I can get no insight into at all, is how he's communicating with his team. Is he telling them, like, I need a little bit more cover on this? Was he telling his team, I need one more wave to finish my mythic before we start the Herald fight, or something like that? Like, I don't know if he's doing any of that. If he's just sitting around not saying anything and that's leading to him being in these kind of weak spots, then, then he needs to work on that communication, but I can't possibly make that call. Maybe he is saying these things and his team isn't registering them or doesn't understand what to do with that information, and then it's not on him at all. I don't know. So let's see, because I know that he does get a bunch of kills this game. So we'll see how he gets them, whether he starts to play up more as his items come in. As he starts to level up his E and have it, be a little more. Asper's getting caught a couple of times. Unfortunate from him. Why do they keep showing the cameras of the players just after they die? That seems cruel. Can't see what he's doing right now. Big reset standoff. Okay, now he's pushing up a little bit more aggressively here, but still. Xin Zhao is in at Gromp here. Jumped back a little farther than I thought. Okay. Xin Zhao is still rotating over. They can see LeBlanc top. Karma is bot, has TP. Here comes the engage. Oh, well. That was kind of a nothing of its own. a couple of Ezreal games where he's been like 0-0-1 or 0-1-1 in deep into the mid game. But that's not just because, it's not just a reflection of him. Warding mission. Or clearing a ward. So they have no vision here, and that makes it tough. Fishing cues into a bush, even if you think you've got good sidestepping, like that's that's pretty risky. So now they're going to clear ward. Now they're going to push in. Here comes the engage. Ooh, a flash Braum ult into a Gnar. Berserker's getting peeled by the Leona. So there's a one-team fight where he didn't really have to do anything. What? So what else could he have done here? Did he E forward into this? Right. Yeah, right there he E's. Now he gets hit with the Leona E, which, whatever. I think he could just... Okay, and he gets also hit with the Leona ult. And this target's dead, so he doesn't need to do anything. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything really he should have done differently in that fight, but the fight was won no matter what he did. Now his team has 3 dragons and is up 2k gold. Something worthy of comment is going to occur in this game other than not taking 1 or 2 autos on a turret. Right? Asper, I don't think has had the best game overall, but he's, he helped with that engage for sure. But you can see in the way this is being played, you can see why this is like a 630 DPM Ezreal game instead of the, like, a good Ezreal DPM and a win is over 1,000. Like, you can get 1,200 sometimes. He's playing a macro Ezreal. Not going to be a fight here. And DK are respecting the poke, like, really hard. Engage. Berserker E's away from the Leona E. He ults. E's back and ults right away. Which is... it's a decent ult. Not too consequential. Okay, I'm losing track of him a little bit here. Now he took turret aggro, so he has to back out. But he still gets to snipe the finish. This is game here. Is it literal game? Oh, there's the other kill. I'm like, I know he has 6 kills this game. Where are they? Okay, it's not actual game. Yeah, it's 4. He still needs 2 more. Oh, TP flank. Oh. Berserker's like, okay, Asper, you die, and I'm going to recall. Here comes the Mountain Soul for free. Oh, a fight. So it's not for free. Well, it is. Asper just walks in and is like, hit me. Ho hum. Okay. Let's watch a Callista game. And let's watch a good one, because I think we've had enough opportunity here that we've been able to see him. We've been able to see things that Berserker needs to work on. He isn't aggressive, really, that we've been able to see. He plays very conservatively. And the positive parts that are, he maintains his spacing really well. He's had one good sidestep, and I know in other games I've watched, I've seen other good sidesteps. But they haven't played through his lane, and he hasn't smashed lane. He doesn't take risks to get more damage out and stand forward. But I also think that his team just has not given him opportunities to do a whole lot. So I don't think that this is a huge, like... I'm not, like, concerned about Berserker, but I'm also not seeing, like... When I look for kind of upcoming players especially, I don't look that much for consistency. I look for really high ceilings. I look for high peaks. And so far, we haven't seen, like, a high peak game from him, aside from, like, we've seen what his strengths are, but we haven't seen him pop off. So let's look for a game that gives us a little bit of a different angle. A high note to go out on here. A Tristana? No, I want to see a game where he's supposed to win this lane. A Callista would be good for that. A Aphelios Thresh. Bunch of divers, and then him as the cleanup. But you got a Renekton here, so they might just still play through the Renekton. Of course, it's a Nocturne, so you're not really playing through any lane. You're playing till the Renekton farm. But we haven't seen him on Aphelios, so let's do it. Hey, an ad. That's exciting. Should be Aphelios Thresh second rotation here into the Kai'Sa. So Nautilus has good gank reception, but it is going to be hard to gank a Thresh lane, I think, early. Lilia gets a lot of damage out, so you might worry about the Lilia ganking you early. But it looks like, oh, they're starting with an invade. So that's going to make it a little bit tough to play for lane dominance when the Lilia is starting by invading your Raptors in red. They do have a Tribrush ward to make sure that it's not like a cheesy level 2 gank coming off this. The Nocturne's going to clear his top side into trying to invade top, but the Lilia's running all the way around. Okay, so they're not going to smash this lane. Let's just watch the lane phase of this, I think. Then we got time to maybe check a Callista lane phase. The Thresh is roaming. Ooh. They're going to win this. Alright, so Berserker's team is ahead. But he hasn't done anything but go down in CS early. Could he have not? It's just having to play super carefully because the Lilia starting down there, I think, has led to, like, being down in wave control. Oh, and the Thresh roamed and is still level 2. What's going on in bot lane? He had to heal. He got 2v1'd by the Nautilus and had to heal. Was that a Hex Flash? Yeah. Nautilus Hex Flashes on him out of bush here. Makes him heal. I don't know why he's face checking that, though. You can't see it underneath. So there's a red ward in the tri-brush, the tri-brush down there. But my camera's in a really bad position. Oh no, it's just because the overlay's not there. That's better. No, my camera is in a really bad position this whole time. Oh well. He face checks the tri-brush, having no vision at all bot side, with his thresh roaming. I'm not a fan of that. He loses a summoner for no reason. He could just stand at turret here. He's got enough health. Unless I'm missing something. He is weak side with an unseen enemy support. Maybe he was going to check if there's... No, they couldn't even really be starting dragon there. So they get a little prio here. Nautilus is around. But Lily is there. So they can't start dragon. Now the bot prog goes the other way, so other team gets dragon. Nautilus or Nocturne's almost 6. But he's not going to use it. He's going to use it mid. Okay, so they get a kill mid. And I think the Kaisa Nautilus here, they probably knew Nocturne is going to be 6 soon, so it looks like they're backing off here. Could Berserker have made sure this wave was pushing towards him more? Because I think he could. Like right here, they just killed a blue minion. Yeah, 4 red minions up plus cannon to 3 plus cannon. With the cannon health is pretty similar. But I think Berserker pushes this. So like here, it's very close. Oh. Thresh takes the cannon, and at that point you can't hold the wave. But like, what I'm thinking is, with Nocturne's 6th threat, you kind of want to pull this in and force them to play super scared, and maybe you can deny a few CS, because they have to respect the Nocturne ult. And, you know, Thresh, Flash, and all that. But instead, they try to get a little bit of a push. I don't know. Curious what their thinking was there. They just wanted to reset, and they're like, I gotta go spend some gold. What does he buy here? Pickaxe. They go mid for Herald. Okay, the Herald timer they wanted to worry about as well. Yeah, it's fine. That's actually, factoring the Herald into it, that actually is probably the right play overall. But like, it's conservative laning with the Thresh roaming, with jungle unable to really influence it. No kill threat at any point. So I'm pretty much done with this game. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get anything more from that game at this point. Let's find like a really dominant Kalista lane. Kalista Rakan. Kalista Gragas and Navarre's Thresh. Callista Gragas into Samira Rel. That should win the lane pretty hard, right? Yeah. With a Diana against a Volibear. Again, they've got a Jace. So they could just be sending they're probably sending the Diana top to help the Jace. How about this one? Callista Thresh with a Trundle in the jungle, Syndra Prio in mid, and Wukong into Jason top lane. So they should definitely be playing strong side bot here. And they picked it as a response to the Varus. Couple of support bands. Okay. The Thresh was picked before the Braum. Alright, show me something, Berserker. Show me something, Asper. Trundle, what are you doing? Pathing bot to top? In these drafts? What? What? Lee Sin goes red to red. Okay, I mean, it's a Trundle gank. A cheese Trundle gank into bot lane that gets first blood. But why such cheese? Why did you think that was your best plan? It's, results aside. So flash play. Oh, it didn't need to. Oh, it was okay. Didn't really need to be, but pillar. I don't know. I don't know. But now you've got the advantage. You've got some assist gold. You're way ahead on this wave. Are they going to crash it, or are they like really trying to nurse it in there? You get to top side. It's going to happen. So they're really nursing that way bot, not crashing it. Huh. Are they worried about something in this bot lane? So like here, enemy jungler is top. Your own jungler is top. Your mid lane has prio. Why aren't you going after plates here? What am I missing? You don't want to get fished on a Braum queue, I guess. But you've got heal. Like you've got Sum's advantage. You might even get, I'm not sure how close they are to leveling up. You might even get level advantage. But they're like being super conservative on this wave. They could have been crashing right now. They get TP'd on. And Roach had a TP top. I guess it's that. But like, sweep the wards. Don't have a sweep. They got a control ward. I guess they couldn't check every bush, but you'd think that they would have been able to get some info earlier. But whether there's a TP ward. They're trying to deny some CS. I don't think that's the right call here at all. But they are generating a CS lead. Okay. Now, the Syndrome is going to threaten. They're going to threaten them off the wave a little bit to help them. I mean, it is a good CS lead. But no, I don't. This is not any kind of a dive setup. Although it could have been, I think. Look, we back it up this much more. Trundle is pathing out to bot side. Has reason to be there. Syndra has prio. Syndra roamed to. Was it just before this? Yeah, Syndra roamed here with a blast cone. Trundle probably could have been here. They could have been crashing for a dive already. But instead of playing for the bot lane snowball move, they went for like the let's get a 10 CS lead. And a dragon? Nope. And a gank mid. Oh, Mowgli. You won that already. You got Oriana's flash. What did you think was going to happen next? They get an early Cloud Drake. Yay! The least valuable objective in the game at this point. The CS lead is going to shrink under 10 here, it looks like. I don't think you want this game to stall out if you're T1 either. I think Jace is going to get side lane control, right? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Jace is pretty okay in the side lane against Wukong later. And they've got like a really good 4-man teamfight core. Whereas you've got Syndra range, but you don't have Varus Orianna range. Thresh roams, Callista's going mid here. Yeah, I think Wukong later. Yeah, that's fair. But even so, regardless of just the one-to-one side lane matchup, I don't think T1 want to scale here. Not against Orianna Varus. Braum. I may be wrong on that. I think there was lots of incentive to go for the bot lane dive setup. There was lots of incentive to path your Trundle top to bot and have Callista Thresh up on the wave at level 1. But I don't know for sure how much of that is coming from Berserker versus, you know, Roach and Mowgli, the veterans on the team, kind of leading the shots or even coaching or whatever. So he comes out of this with the 20 CS lead. Like that's quite strong. But his team is even in gold behind a dragon. I don't know. It does strike me a little bit as like, if this was a solo queue game and you came out of lane 20 CS ahead, and you're like, look how good I did, and look how well I did my job. Well, it's not 20 anymore. I wasn't checking the wave states after, but it's closed up a lot in the last 2 minutes. 15, okay. But you'd feel really good in solo queue if you managed this. But it's not... If it's the most efficient and right play in solo queue in how to manage this wave, or manage this lane, it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do in pro play or the most efficient for your team or any of that. Well, we can watch a bit more of this one. But I think I'll start working on some recap here because we've seen a bunch of stuff. And if the flow of this VOD review has taught you anything, it's that I don't come into these VOD reviews knowing my conclusions in advance. I came in praising Berserker fairly highly. And I still think that like, let's be clear up front, I still think he's going to be a good player in the LCS, and as I've said elsewhere, should be a candidate for Rookie of the Year, assuming that things go well over the whole course of the year, right? And that things develop in the right direction. But I wasn't expecting the vibe of this review to go the direction it did. I knew that he had some very conservative leanings in the decisions he makes and the way he positions and so on, but I was presenting those more in a positive light around his team fighting and so on. And let's get some close to team fighting in here and see what he does with it. But I think his laning, I didn't catch this before when I was watching him so much, but he's been very conservative in his laning, in addition to being conservative overall. He hasn't made any pop-off kind of plays in any of the games we've watched, and I don't remember seeing any in other games I watched when I was doing just, private VOD review. And that's not necessarily a problem for an AD carry, and it's not his play style. But you do look for that in a rookie, even from the bot lane position. You look for players who can, like, make you sit up and pay attention. Not spam fast forward through the game looking for something to happen. And when you're on a team in an academy league like this, or in the, challenger technically in this case, and you've got a couple of veterans with you like Roach and Mowgli, you'd hope that the rookie player is able to stand out and be the one that is not getting brought along for the ride by the veterans, which kind of has been the vibe in some of these games for sure. He's also gotten games inted away from his team by his veterans, so that's not his fault. I don't think you can blame Berserker for any of the losses we've seen, but you can't really credit him for the wins either, in my opinion. So let's see some team fights here. There have been some very positive things we've seen. I do think he's got good reactions. I think he's got, good ability to sidestep things. I think he does recognize threats and play around them really well. And these are all very positive things that he's not going to need to be taught. He did show this game that he knows how to manage waves to generate a CS lead. That is more valuable to some people than others. Stacking those spears. Ooh, dodges the Braum Q and ult. Good for him. Loses his stacks. Gonna get some more. Burst it. Ooh, stays out of the Ori ult. Could you not have Kalista ulted right there? Maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they're just playing the dragon stack and they say, hey, we're gonna get soul, but like right around here, I would have thought that's a pretty good opportunity for a Kalista ult. Brahmi will go down, and you should be able to finish them with the Syndra ult into it. Like, you could have killed one or two targets there with a good Kalista ult into a Thresh ult. Pretty sure you had an opening. But probably their overall call was, we don't need to fight here. 5 minutes from now, we've got soul. So I'm guessing it's a team call. No Wukong ult, that's... yeah. I still think with the Kalista ult into the Thresh ult with Syndra scattering right after, you can probably get... and Ori ult's down, Varus ult down, Braum ult is down. You didn't need to wipe them there, but I think there's a pretty clear opportunity for at least a couple of kills. But it wasn't necessary. That's for sure. Like, you did just get the dragon and you've got control of the zone and you can just wait for the next one. But again, that's just like a very conservative mentality. And it probably was the veterans saying, don't fight, don't fight, don't fight. On Cloud9, if Blabber's voice is very loud, he'll be told to fight there, I'm pretty sure. So I'm curious how that'll mesh. Blabber wants to fight. That's not a question you have to ask. I think Fudge generally would fight as well. Coaches, maybe not. Let's see another team fight. I don't know if he's used his ult at all yet. Has he? Have I missed it? Oh, come on. You can pull the Thresh out. No? Doesn't need to yet. Okay. Asper's on the flank with Roach. Cinder Scatter. Stopwatch. Ori ult is down, so now you can really go for it. Braum ult is down. Okay, he did use Kalista ult here. Options. What are some options here? Mask is over here. You want to let Thresh get his skills out, and you don't want to pull him out and prevent him from doing something positive in the fight. Yeah. I don't know. He definitely was hitting minions in the middle of that fight, but I'm not sure if he really had, like, so from his mindset, he's very concerned about the Ori and Varus ults, I think. Maybe the Jace poke to some extent, but like, you can see he's staying away from the ball. Ball moves here. He backs. He's fine. So he's outside the range of that ult. He's probably seen Varus ult used. And I think during this whole part, you can see him hit these minions here, but I think he's just staying out of range of stuff. He used Rend there, which I don't. Yeah, he might have had like one stack into the Braum there. I don't think he needed to use that Rend, that's for sure. And I think, I wonder if the call there also was like, yeah, just give this one up. Oh, Dragon is now, so. I mean, he had flash and heal. An aggressive player would have stepped forward or like fought more forward, made sure they killed the Braum there and maybe some other stuff, relied on flash to avoid the Orianna ult probably, or the Varus ult, or both. Like, step up, even hit the Lee Sin or something and rely on your flash. But it's like he was playing as if he didn't have flash. Also, he wasted his Rend. I'm not impressed with that fight, unfortunately. Oh, they're going to rush a Baron. Wukong is shadowing to flank. A hook. A kill. Good team play. Flash in over the pillar. So on the chase here, he's going to flash forward. Right there. That was a kill on the Jace. So he didn't want to use his flash to position aggressively in a previous team fight, but he does want to use it to get to confirm a kill. And I get a Baron off that. Since we've gone this deep in the game, might as well try to finish it off. I'm guessing nothing happens until Dragon. Alright, let's see it. Full dragon control, you do have to worry about Jace Varus poke if you just like mindlessly stand in here, so having a lot of really forward vision is good. Staying just outside of range of those skill shots. No proactive or like Callista ults with the Thresh. There's no like hunting for picks in this game. So many skill shots always just like fizzle out right in front of him because he knows the ranges. He's playing around them so much. Secure the dragon while the team zones for him, takes the Thresh Lantern over, but they've already got a kill and confirm the soul, so there's nothing happens there. Now what? Let's find a fight. I just want to see a team fight. Okay, TP flank from the Wukong. He's got everything up, Threshes everything up. Orianna Flash is missing. Thresh ult proactively onto the Braum, flashes in for a nice flay. Okay. Good engage. Nice play by Asper mostly, I would say. One thing I really don't know anything about is like what to expect from Winsome as a laner in terms of how much he's going to play for, like maybe he brings some of that 2v2 laning edge and like all-in aggression. Maybe he's a heavy roam player and will lead Berserker on his own a lot. I have no idea what to expect there. So, yeah, I don't know. But, well, I kind of already did my wrap-up. I'm still excited about Berserker, especially coming into LCS with an aggressive jungler on his team, with such a good top laner, so that people probably won't worry about attacking Berserker in lane much. They'll probably be much more concerned about dealing with Summit. I think he does have some really good like awareness and things to look for, but I think you're going to have to find out whether he can add some edge to his game, some forward thinking, because to work well with Blabber, and to kind of partner with the rest of the team, I think you want to have a little bit more. You want to have a bit more aggression to you. I don't think a partnership with Blabber is gonna unless Blabber's gonna tee everything up for you all game, and you're just gonna be there to land the last hits when you're ready for it and not int. Maybe that's what they're gonna go for. But I don't know. I definitely had my takes on him as a conservative player got cemented much more firmly after all of this. And now we're going to have to see what the coaching does with him as well. I'm sure he's going to get much more intentional and specific coaching now than he got in the T1 Challenger system, where he was on a lower tier. And presumably the coaching resources in Cloud9 at the LCS level should be much higher. So having heard that he kind of develops, you've been told that he learns champions quickly, and obviously he is 18, turning 19 in May. He's young. He doesn't have top tier experience. There's so much opportunity for him to add some of the things he doesn't have, but it is difficult to add aggressive mindset. Learning how to use different champions is something that you can add in, but your mindset and your perspective on the game is not something that usually comes in with coaching. That's something that is there, and then you work on some of the execution and recognition of things around that usually. So we'll see. You also never know kind of your selection of games and what they say compared to a different selection of games. I think looking at his damage numbers and KDAs and farm numbers and all of that through some of his games, it backs up what we've seen, that his other games are kind of like this. So, Not the most exciting set of games to watch. So far, not the most exciting player to watch, but I do think there is plenty of reason for Cloud9 fans to still look forward to seeing how he develops in the league going forward. I'm going to wrap it up there. We'll see a couple weeks from now. We'll do another one of these. We'll see what player it ends up being about. You can go back and watch my General Sniper one from a couple of weeks ago. You can see what I've done with Shenyi and Kaijuo in the past. And other than that, make sure you come hang out in the Discord. Seems like there have been some shenanigans while I've been streaming, so I'm going to go find out what happened there. And other than that, subscribe to the YouTube channel also. Would appreciate that. And any support you give on the YouTube channel memberships or Twitch subscriptions and all of that allow me to invest more time into this kind of thing going forward. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again next time. Thanks for watching and supporting my content. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and check out the channel memberships if you want to get access to custom emojis, special roles in the Oracle's Elixir Discord, and other perks.